outstanding job with some defensive adjustments, but that team is nowhere close defensively to 100%. No, it's a fact. They didn't have Devontae Wyatt or Micah Parsons, who I think is the single best defensive player in football. They didn't have that. The Bears have Tyler Gordon hit run, not anywhere close to 100%. Jalen Johnson, who made a hell of a pass breakup late. I don't know how he did it. Jalen Johnson doesn't look anywhere close to himself. TJ Edwards, no test injury, taken off on part in an air cast. His season is over. We lost our starting left tackle, Ozzie Trapillo. Probably going to miss a good chunk of next year. Sure. Because of a patellar tendon injury. Terrible injury. But guess what?
Stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10.
Made a throw on 4th and 7. With 5:07 to go. That I don't know if you know other than Patrick Mahomes. I've seen make a throw like that. It was the play of the game. You could tell me that the touchdown to win the game was the play of the game. You could tell me this play was the play of the game. If he does not convert that play as he's being dragged to the ground for Roma Dunze for 27 yards, you're turning it over on downs and the game's probably over. That is what superstar players do. Does he have to be better? Of course, he would tell you that. But I watched all the games like you did. I see guys with low completion percentages. I see everything amped up. I see what it's like. I saw Trevor Lawrence throw big-time interceptions. I saw Drake May struggle for a chunk of that game yesterday. I saw Justin Herbert be god-awful yesterday. And in the end, our guy came through, led his team, and they found a way to win. And reveling at Bears fans and enjoy it. Green Bay eating it with your breakfast is your doc.
Yeah, no question. Green Bay is at home, and the Bears are moving on in the playoffs. But I think to accentuate the play even more so, yeah, an outstanding play and just unwieldy plays by Caleb Williams and the offense to keep the Bears the ball game end up winning it. But along the way, the storyline of this season, Cap, I mentioned was all. And also, no one spent more time on the shelf than the Chicago Bears as a football team. Time away because of injury. No one spent more time on the shelf like the Chicago Bears. But the reason why that I use the word resolve is because, okay, so you're missing TJ Edwards, and it was hard to see him go off on the park with that left ankle injury. But then here's DeMarco Jackson, who also was able to shine this season. DeMarco Jackson fills in. And by the way, part of the turnaround for the defense in that second half. And Jalen Reeves-Maybin, who I said, who is that guy? Who is that? Looking through the roster. Also, a guy that was a practice squad linebacker is able to be pressed into service. There's been stories like this all season where it's names out of nowhere that's contributed to where the Bears are right now. As we've said many times in the show, Cap, it's not necessarily about Caleb Williams or about Roma Dunze or about Montez Sweat, about names you know. It's about names you don't know that's been able to come through and help the Bears to where they are right now. So this is why this is such a unique season. It's such a celebration here this morning because it's a celebration of a team finding a way with every part, every corner of the office, every part of the locker room to be able to get that done on Saturday. All these different parts. That's why you're here today. Not because of Pro Bowlers or real Hall of Famers. It's everybody together to be able to get to where you are today. Is that not true?
It's 1,000%. 1,000%. And Green Bay doesn't like it because we were there, you know what, so very long. And they went, oh, it's a cute little story, but our rivals, Minnesota Vikings. And guess what? You wanted us all week. We heard Keyshawn Nixon. He was awfully quiet after the game. Who else didn't speak? There were a few that did not have the temerity to stand at their locker. Some did. I give them credit. That's what professionals do. Jordan Love spoke. Guess what? You loved it when you dominated us. Well, the Vikings are really all right. Guess what? Rivalry engaged. It's that time. And you're not in bitch anymore. Take that.
All I can tell you is that the Green Bay Packers said that they wanted the Bears. They've been looking at this game for weeks now. 2 or 3 weeks. Like, yeah, we want the Bears. Yeah, the Eagles, good football team, but we want the Bears because they want their win back from the loss that they had.
What the
They
fuck?
want it, right? Because you could have easily sidestepped that question to the Milwaukee and the Wisconsin press. You could have just like, hey, man, whoever we play, we're looking forward to that matchup. We've been in a losing streak. We're looking no, they're on a losing streak because now we want the Bears. They knew they had their playoff berth clinched. So they were saying that they could have taken this conversation. Well, you know what? Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for because the same thing that happened in the second game of the regular season happened in the playoffs. You know what that was? You trickle it down your leg. You choke the biggest moment. The Bears win the game, but also you don't. You're missing it. All of a sudden now you don't throw in the middle of the field and the Bears taking advantage of that defensively. And then the Bears offensively getting the job done. So I love what I saw from that Bears team. The ability to say, you know what? You don't play well in the second half. We're taking over. That's exactly what happened in Game 2 and in the playoffs. They choked it away, and the Bears took advantage of it. You want the Bears, huh? Well, you got what you got. You're going home. You're Cancun.
You got, exactly. Enjoy Cancun, enjoy ice fishing on Lake Winnebago. It gets frozen over. I was up there. You'll be ready to go. Put your little hut out there with your Packer flag.
He'll start the return
Game on.
inside his spot.
And that's the best part of the whole thing. Wherever right ends, Sunday, in the Super Bowl, the NFC title, wherever it ends, that night on Saturday is what I was screaming about all last week. That's the package. It's different. You have to put that down. Let it shut their mouths and have them take it. We have for 30 years. And now they look, oh, God. That quarterback is going to be a problem. And the idiots up there that kept going, hey, Williams, that's the best thing that happened to the Panthers. I watched the draft video from over the weekend when the guy hosted the draft. And ESPN Milwaukee's up there.
In this game, maybe see some new schemes in the passing game just based on
I won't
what
look out
this
for
guy
you.
was able to do the last time
Not
he
too good. Because all of a sudden we had adults in the league. That's Johnson and Stackwell.
How about the job and recognition by the defense? They knew exactly what they
It was a magnificent comeback. It was a magnificent ending. Now you've got things to clean up. You're going to be banged up, injured. Guess what? DeMarco Jackson, next man up.
Scanning the field.
We're still alive. We're still playing.
Come on.
We're going on vacation. I've never been happier to see Green Bay.
Green Bay's so emotional after the loss.
This one away. This will be their first
I
one
don't
of the
even have any words,
afternoon.
man.
Gets his first one of the day off. He was called on 4 times in last week's win. They'll put a stop to that return at about the 37-yard line.
Hard to look at the right side after.
TCU
Well, I know
will
I'm
send
not
its
going to be able to sleep
offense
tonight,
back
so I
onto
know
the
it's most
field.
likely it's going to
Already
be
a solid start
get
to
in my
this
bed
one
and
now.
like
Back
sit
to
there
work
and
with a
start
7-0
eating
lead.
everything.
This
And
drive will get started
I
from
think
the
the hardest day is going to be
37-yard
tomorrow.
line.
Seeing the guys,
Motion from the
and,
wideout.
that we're not, preparing for another
Looking
week.
for a
So
crease. It's Lanier. And there was nowhere to go. Just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
You know when you're playing against a defense of this caliber, you're going to have some
There
sort of
you go.
balance, right? You can't
So
just drop
sights and
back and throw
sound
it every
from the
single
Green Bay
play.
locker room.
Nothing going on
And
that last
again,
run.
I
They're
have a
gonna
lot of
find
respect
another
for
way
Brandon.
to get it going
I
and
watched
hand him the
his
ball.
press conference in the locker, stood right in his locker. It's the worst day of my professional career. On me, I let them down. That's what a man does. That's what a winner does. He's not a winner in the game. That guy's had a really good career. His time in Green Bay has come to an end. It will be over. Guess what? That man can hold his head up high and go, that's on me, man. There's no Keyshawn Nixon peacocking. No. And Matt LaFleur's a really good football coach. He needs to go. If I was the owner there or the president, they would have an owner, president. That policy, that'll be all. And if I was another team, I'd absolutely be interested in hiring him. He needs a fresh start. He needs to get out of there, and they need a fresh start because their thing is in trouble.
That's all right. Actually, LaFleur can stay. I'm a Bears fan. He can stay. If you're going to push like that in the second half, let him stay there. Because there was no adjustments and nothing that they did to hammer the Bears in the second half of the regular season game, game 2, and then the most important game, the playoffs, on Saturday night. The Captain J. Hood podcast brought to you by Republic Bank. 316-332-ESPN.
Now to throw. Fires to the big side.
Bears victory Monday. The Bears beat the Green Bay Packers 21-27, and they're moving on to the Rams. We got full coverage of the Bears all day and all week right here on the home of the Bears.
The play action and the open tight end.
Because it freezes those linebackers, it freezes those safeties because they have to come up for a second and play the run. And then the big tight ends, big targets in the back end can catch the football and make big plays.
Come on,
A shot on that one, but couldn't make the connection. It's incomplete.
I think for the quarterback, he's going to have to be so good with his eyes. He's going up against one of the best defenses in the country. You've got to look guys off, especially when you're trying to throw your primary target like he was in that last one.
It's out there on the call for every Bears game right here on the home of the Bears, ESPN 1000. The ECU Captain ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app. Thank you so much for being with us. I know that you had a great weekend, and I know that you're going to have a great week because the Bears beat the Packers 31-27. Let's get to the action. 312-332-ESPN. 332-3776. Still the phone with Mr. Kenneth Williams. Quarterback for the Chicago Bears before Cap. Just, it's one thing to have a rivalry, and it's been going on forever and ever between the Bears and Packers over the generations. And look, I can understand how it can get personal amongst fans. Absolutely. But then there's lines that get crossed. And just the Green Bay media and the Milwaukee media is going after the Chicago Bears fans. Listen, there's nothing wrong with having a fan. Healthy sports media. This thing crossed any line big way. Got personal. Guess what? For me, I want to take 120 over 80 because I knew that the Bears would win the football game. Hey, we can start off full. There's no question about that. Especially at home, you have the crowd behind you. But I know that the Bears always have another year. It's strange. I know it's strange when you score 28 points in the second half and you score 3 in the first half. But this is who the Bears have been. And here's the thing, Cap. This is a personal shot at Green Bay Packers fans and people in Wisconsin that support that team. That was personal against the Bears and Bears fans. I hope that this stick is right where the sun don't shine this night, that you enjoy that loss that you had. I hope that you understand where the Bears are now in the second order, because they're the teams you're looking for, and you're not. I hope that you enjoy and understand what happened out there on Saturday.
And the margins will be extra thin from here on out.
No, because if the season ends today, you're
It's
basically right on the cusp
hey, this
outside
team
the
can
top
come back.
5, so
You got to
you
make
need
sure
to
we
keep
are
winning.
on our
Oh!
The intensity of playing
What's
the
pressure?
season, David. I think
Yes,
that's a
you
massive
still
key for this team.
relinquish that
It's so
lead
hard
and
with
lost
young
the football.
kids, 17, 18,
So,
19,
you get what
20
you
years
deserve.
old, to
I hope
get
that
them
you
to
get the data
continue to
for that.
focus
Oh,
on the
the Bears
game
beat
in
the
and
Packers.
game out, not the
You're
rankings,
doing that.
not
Well
down
said.
the road. That'll be the
I
challenge
agree
down the
with you.
stretch.
But I thought Dennis Allen's adjustment when they were able to stop the run game, they did a really good job on the run game, and they took away a lot of the extra feeding. Love's a good player. I
And the
told you
defense
that.
has to
Good
be able
football
to do a
player.
better job on the back end, tackling this receiver and keeping him
Bears
out of
when
the
they
end zone.
had to make plays, that Caleb throw on fourth down, magnificent. Holston Loveland was absolutely magnificent in this game. And they found a way to get it done. Now, we're back to work. Marco Jackson, get ready. You're going to be moving the main guys out there at linebacker because we don't have C.J. Edwards, Theo Benedict, or Braxton Jones who started left tackle. We saw them use multiple offensive linemen. I saw Theo Benedict running at us. That was like, what are we doing here? Now, I will tell you, not everything is seashells and balloons, as they like to say, because Ben Johnson did not have a good first half. He did not. Some of the decision-making was absolutely ridiculous. Going for it at the 32, that wasn't smart. 4th and 1, inside 1 yard, and you're dropping Caleb back, and Chef Hatley ate it for breakfast. He blitzed and ends up in a push that didn't really matter. He blew up the play. Back sneak your hand up, you young guy. You're going to pick up.
This offense with a fresh set of downs.
Just move the sticks. Stop trying to be cute. Please.
To the air
Oh,
on
that's
first
not happening,
down.
Cap. As I told you when you retired. This is
Come
basically
on!
and I don't accept it either. But the whole reason is that just understand what you're dealing with. You don't have a head coach that's been in your job for 10 years that understands, okay, in this situation, this is why I can play football. This is what it is. I explain that to you. A lot of these young coaches want to show you how smart they are. They try to give you a little sleight of hand. The simple will do. Right. And that's not what this coach is. That's what a lot of these young coaches kind of do the same thing. I understand what you're saying. But as I told you many times, like, the problem with the Lions, we're bringing that to the Bears. And so for me, the simplistic always is doing that. Something really for a couple of yards. It leaped of desperation.
Yes,
on the first half.
Exactly what it was. That was a move by a desperate man who went, my defense isn't good enough. I better go for it at the 30.
Yes, no, that is a sign of a coach that did not feel good about his defense. And why would you? Especially the way he played the first half.
No question. Then I watched the game last night, and when New England got the late touchdown, Mike Vrabel, he kicked the extra point. Analytics said go for 2. He brought 14. He went, no, I'm taking the point. I'm taking the point, and I'm adding on. They ended up, the way his defense was playing, that game was over anyway. But Frank was desperate. He played as a desperate man. And then I'm sure his defense said to him in the locker room, Coach, you got this. And they made a couple adjustments. They did a really good job choking down the running game.
That's why you keep trying things, right? Keep trying
And I please have a memo to Gervon Dexter. And the ball is loose on the ground, just fall on the freaking thing. And someone racing in there, you know, like the hair's on fire, and boom, throws it out of bounds. The Bears were 2-6 when they lost the turnover. Now the 3. Oh, they still got for whatever reason in on a fifth return. Come up. The Gervon Dexter one when the big guy, the lineman, had the ball. He fumbles. We don't come up with it. There are opportunities to make plays. You want to keep this joyride going? You better make it. This is the Chicago Bears story. That's the story right there. Where it's two halves a lot of times. When you come back in games, there are mistakes on the sidelines. The guys that wear headsets. And there's mistakes on the field. But then the resolve factor comes in with that despite all of that, they still were able to win the Bears 31-27. Hey, a lot of these say, well, they got to clean up these things. Well, after making these mistakes and these personal calls a lot throughout the season, that was wrong. We hope that people separate the positive and the negative of whatever's happening on that football field. The Bears were able to separate the positive enough to be able to beat the Packers. So I'm glad you brought this up because there are some that want to bury their head in the sand, pretending like the first half didn't happen. We are celebrating that the Bears beat the Packers. But just like a book, you must read the front of the book to the end to know the entire story. You don't go to the back of the book and say, oh, the last page tells you what happened. What a great story. Well, good night, hon. No. You read the book from the front to the end. Correct. Front sucks. The back end of that book, the middle to the back of that book was great. Some want to just fast forward to the back, but the point is that that whole game goes forward to the color goes up. I'm okay with the first half of the game because the Bears had to make the adjustments at halftime to be able to rally, to hold the Packers. No one's been on the defense more than me around. But I'm giving them their flowers because of the adjustments that they made to surrender only 6 points. Hey, McMahon's missed a couple of kicks. There's no question about that. However, the Bears' defense was able to get off the field to allow the offense to be able to circulate and operate. So, to me, I saw 2 games. The ending of that book was the best. But you are correct. You have to be able to go from front to back to tell the entire story. You don't write a column about the Bears Packers and say, Bears won 31-27. What a comeback. You have to tell the entire story of how they were able to get that done. The entire story is that the Bears found a way to win football despite the rough stuff. Yeah, I talked to 2 members of my extended family. They don't live in town, my wife's side. And I saw somebody else yesterday in town when we went out to breakfast. It was super cool. We went to breakfast yesterday at Espresso and tea. After 3/4 of the restaurant I went there. And what? That's not been in mothballs for a long time though this year. It's super cool. But there are many of you out there who know who you are and turn off the game. I'm done. I'm not going to watch this. And they woke up in the morning and went, what? They won? Shame on you. Shame on you. If you're a diehard, you stay there till the bitter freaking end. and you see what happens. You've only done it 6 times. Now it's 7. You embarrassed yourself if you turn the game. 312-332 ESPN 333-3776 our telephone number. We come back and take your phone call. Get your reaction. Bears beat the Packers 31-27. It's time to celebrate. As the Bears are moving on to the playoffs, they're going to take on the Rams this weekend. If the Bears win over the Packers, let's talk about it on the Captain Jacob Morning Show.
Just like a strong offense keeps moving the ball, Republic Bank of Chicago's business banking solutions can keep your company growing. Business checking, treasury management, commercial loans, big business, small business. Republic Bank has everything you need for your business. Our team is here to get you back in the game and moving in the right direction. Experience beyond expectations. Only at Republic Bank of Chicago. And at FDIC. Visit ourbankchicago.com today.
To the back on ESPN Chicago.
And Duvernay has to settle under it. A lot of hands out to the 28-yard line on the inside. Looking for blocks. Gets one from Hardy. Gets the sideline on 50. He's got Robinson in front of him. He gets all the way inside. The Packer 35.
Plenty of time to work.
Jeff and Tom on the call right here on the home of the Bears, ESPN 1000. It is the Bears Victory Monday on the Captain Jacob Morning Show. 312-332 ESPN 332-3776 is our telephone number. The lead until 9 o'clock, then Carmen Yurko coming at 9, followed by Rich Eisen at noon. Juan and Sylvia at 2, all part of the mix right here. On your home for the Chicago Bears, the NFC North champions, ESPN 1000. Let's go on the phone lines to talk to you. 312-332-3776 is our phone number. How about those Bears? Bears down. You walk in the office, you talk to friends on social media, wherever you go, you make sure you tell them Bear down. The Bears had a huge, tremendous victory over the Green Bay Packers at Soldier Field. They walked it. Soldier Field. My friends were telling me that the press box and the suites were rocking. It was rumbling, earthquake. That's how crazy it was at Soldier Field on Saturday night. We go to Cole in Los Angeles, listening to the ESPN Chicago app. Good morning, Cole.
They're down for the regular day.
Great, brother. How are you? Victory Monday, baby.
Man, I'm doing fantastic. You know, I'm out here with a bunch of Rams fans. I've been seeing more and more players here. I was at University yesterday my Bears fans. And the employees just stopped me and saying, tear down. So, nothing sweeter than beating the Packers.
Oh, dude, when you come out the gates in the first quarter, it's adrenaline, it's passion, it's being talked about as
he hit the Jordan logo.
as
I
this
like
game
that.
goes
That was,
on.
That was the play of the weekend. No doubt about it.
He hit that Jordan logo. That's what I love. I want to learn that we have a quarterback. For both the hitters over there, for everybody up there in the way. Yeah, let's see a Jordan logo. Yeah, fair enough.
It's so funny that people look at that. The way that Caleb Williams' legs were spread and the way that he took his arms, like looking for Jesus in your hate. It's just one of those, oh, I can see him right there. He's in my scrambled eggs. I didn't see it that way. But people do the logo where how Caleb Williams spread his legs and his arms. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, okay, I can see it now. 312-332-3776 our phone number. This doctor is Marcus on Captain J. Hood. Marcus, good morning.
Good morning, guys. What's going on? Bear down.
Bear down, baby. Bear down.
So, I remember when Cats came out and you said that you had another NFL executive and you said that Justin Fields was not the one.
Yep.
Read defense.
Yep.
And you heard the term rolled out for Caleb, generational talent. But like that last caller talked about on that field down pass, it did not only the logo, it reminded me of Michael Jordan because the one thing that made him so great was how he played in the fourth quarter. Not the first three, but the fourth. He was unstoppable. And that's what I feel like it was Taylor. Greatness is there because it's how you finish. It don't matter how you start a game. There was games where Michael played horrible in the first half. But in that fourth quarter, he was relentless. And that is Caleb Williams. Caleb is him, stare down. great.
Bear down. Yeah, again, I will say it again and again and again and again. This kid has got so much talent. Are there things to get better at? Still has been for 18 games. 18 games. The dude on the other side is a good player. Jordan Love is a very good player. He's also been with the same play caller and head coach for 6 seasons. 3 as the backup to Aaron, and then 3 as the starting quarterback. They paid that guy $55 million a year. Do I think he's a $55 million quarterback? I do not. But that's the price of doing business in today's NFL. It is. The Bears did an amazing job in the second half at choking down the run. Saw the stats this morning, what the Packers were able to run for, set the pass up in the first half. The second half, 2 huge plays by DeMarco Jackson after T.J. Edwards went out with a broken leg, and 2 massive plays by Graham Jarrett. Now, if we take Kyron Williams and Blake Corum that way, the fourth Matthew Stafford, what looks like it's going to be very cold conditions Sunday, you have a great chance to win the game if your offense can move the ball.
Stealing space in playing field. Captain Jalen Space, good morning.
Dude, what's up, fellas? How y'all feeling?
What's up, brother? I think you know how we feel in space. I think you know. I think you know.
Man, the hell?
This quarterback right now he's doing a nice job increasing
I've been on fire every since that game. I'm telling you about what my key to the victory was coaching up. The Bears tape. It was coaching Loveless, and it was Montez Sweat. And Loveless, oh my goodness, phenomenal. You said, how about the people who didn't like that ticket? I hate it. I'm going to be honest with you. Boy, do I have to eat my words. That man is, he's the next level for it when it comes to tight ends and he's unstoppable. And then Montez Sweat, he didn't get the sack. He didn't get all the glory in it. But the man was everywhere. He caused so much havoc back there, so much pressure. Like, he deserved that game ball. Coach gave him the game ball. Hey, he deserved it. It was phenomenal to see. And the best part about it all, they want to warn, you got a coach that says after touches, and he shouldn't have said that. I love it, the fact that my coach came out and said it. He just out here getting a check. You know what I'm saying? He's not collecting the check. It's just, this man is taking it serious. Because it's serious for us. Oh, this rivalry, I don't like nothing green and gold. Not a thing. I take it all on my wardrobe. I don't let green go for nothing. And this coach has took this rivalry so serious. You can tell my that's my coach of the future right there. We got our coach. We got our quarterback.
And that's practice.
That's going to spirit out. I have a question for you. Here's the deal, both off base. That's the question. If we have best draft in America,
He gets it all the way down to the 5-yard line. A terrific
hard time like your mock draft and all that. But you do a great job on
so dangerous.
scouting
They've
each
got dudes
player
all
on
over the
tape
field that can make plays.
and then giving you a
big gainer
report.
in the pass game.
You get
You
a
do
chunk
the
of yards
best
like
at
that. Now the defense is really
It's
on its
Austin
heels.
Lovely. You go
Great
back
style
right
points
now.
on that catch, but they didn't
Bottom
pick
of
up
the board
any
with 18 games. You go back and look at the first round, 1 for 32. Be the best pick in the entire group. I have to go look in the break. I was going to do
the 4. They'll try to cash in on second
I do.
goal.
I went through all 32 picks. There's some good players there. I think Cam Moore will end up being a good quarterback. I think he's going to come to the situation with David sure. I'm not telling you he's as good as David. He's never branded that type of thing. Either coming out. He's the best of the group. There's some good players here. I think Dillon is that wide receiver. I watched him in Carolina the other day. He's outstanding. Number 4 in Carolina. Everyone was on that. Now I went from 1 to 32. That tight end is a monster.
let me see if I can accentuate the point more so. I'm closing up. Yeah, can I do that?
Yeah.
Oakland Muffin was targeted 15 times and caught 8 passes, get 137 yards. in week 17 through the wild card round, he had 24 catches for 322 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here's what I'm going to tell you about Coastal Love. Here's a complete list of tight ends with 8 or more catches.
How the fuck do our players don't fucking get off the fucking block like this?
Zach Miller from the Chiefs, Gronkowski again, Shannon Sharp for the Broncos, Steve Jordan for the 1990 Vikings back in that time, and Tony Winslow of the Colts. That's the list.
Take care of those big guys up front.
You're walking with greatness when we talk about Gronk doing that twice. Gronk had 8 catches, 124 yards back in 2015. He did it again in 2012, 10 catches, 125 yards. Zach Miller, he's a very good tight end in his prime with Seattle, right? Shannon Sharp was outstanding with the Broncos. Steve Jordan, very solid with the Vikings. And Tony Winslow, speaks for itself.
Yeah, that's the news. And our guys are rookies is getting it done. So
you're doing this in year 1. What do you think that looks like if you look at him in year 5, year 7, year 8? He walks with a lot of tremendous tight ends to be able to have that production. That essentially is what you're also about what Loveland brings to the Bears and that first round in the NFL.
By the way, during the second half, my buddy Robbie was at the house and watching the game. One of my neighbors was a Packer fan. He was not happy as the thing unfolded. Very happy at halftime. And Robbie goes, live right now. What do you think the line was in the second half?
The screen game's a big part of it, too, to try to get them going now.
Chicago plus 11. You can even find an 11.5.
My money line win was plus 410.
I would have thought it would be even higher.
I'm sitting there at Soldier Field, like people next to me. I'm like, this game's over. I'm like, God, I don't know. It's going to be tied for 2 minutes. I've watched every game this year. This will be money line. Yeah, like, this will be tied for 2 minutes. It's 21-3. Guys, it's going to be tied. 2 minutes to go and be tied.
Because I think Barstool Big Cat live bet at plus the point. Every people live bet the money.
This will be his second
that
time
platform that Jim was talking about, and the research on, that is next on Captain
the catch is made around the 40. So Texas has it again, and here comes the offense. They'll start this drive 60 yards in front of them from their own 40. How big is this drive? Scored a touchdown the last time they had it. Defense gets a stop, and now it's up to them in a tie game.
All right, so if you're the offensive coordinator here, let's dial it in. Who are your best matchups and best playmakers to take advantage of this golden opportunity?
Chase platform is always brought to you by the Chicago State. Golden save money, do more, ride, CTA. I'm looking through the first round of the draft. Nat had a big bold proclamation last segment that Colston Loveland is the best pick of the 32 first round picks. Whether or not he's definitively the best, I'm not going to make that declaration. I'll say he's on the short. I put Mason Graham on the short list. He was outstanding for Cleveland this year. Shelton Banks Jr., I would put on the short list, played left tackle in New Orleans. Really good tackle for the Saints. Ted McMillan's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year in all likelihood. I would put Ted McMillan on that short list. One I think is probably the best pick, 1 through 32, would be Grazing. I know it's not sexy. Offensive guard, Seattle, North Dakota State. Some of the metrics, he finished as the best interior offensive lineman in all of football in run block winning. He got lost real and he revitalized an offensive line that was false a year ago. It's a little bit like the Quentin Nelson pick when the Colts got him. I think Ray Zabel's probably the best pick out of the top 32. Colston Loveland would not be far behind. But I love Colston Loveland the whole way.
Yeah.
I told you guys back in February, March, this guy's better than Tyler Warren. I can't figure out why everybody loves Tyler Warren.
Well, I guess the thing is that Tyler Warren's a nice player. He's a nice player. But I think that we do not go direction here for the first year head coach. You're really believing that he's a nice place and you have players that could play, you just need coaching. Ben Johnson looked at this and said, I know that you've got, good players here. I got to be about the future. And this is not a shot at Cole Kmet, but he's been here. I need something different and more dynamic in the tight end spot. You have wide receivers, but I need something faster, and that's why I got Luther Berger. You have offensive linemen here and little rotators, and that's great for Darnell White, but I need something more veteran that can protect my quarterback. So I didn't know the direction at the draft that the Bears were going to go in, but I also love that as a good example of saying, I like Kmet, but here's something that's going to be my tight end for the future. So I totally get it.
Yeah, that dual tight end. Really good. I would vote Colston Loveland. Maybe I'm biased. I think Cam Ward's going to be a good quarterback. Travis Hunter, he's fine. I didn't like to pick at number 2 anyway. Great talent. But I didn't see it. The other one, Abdul Carter, had more issues off the field and had to get back and all of that. Mason Graham, he had to sack. That's fine. He's a really good interior player.
No, you got to put the tape on him.
He's a really good interior player.
But saying half the sack, he's fine, isn't it? You just didn't watch it. If that's how you're going to look.
He was not as impactful to me as Colston Loveland was. As Dylan, I'll argue.
I'm not saying that he was, but it's also you're not operating in a fair margin. You look at guys who played on horrible teams. I'm telling you, go back and watch Cleveland. It's not coincidence Myles Garrett broke the sack record the same year Mason Graham got on that team.
Calvin Banks, very good player. Very good. Ray Zabel, very good. For me, it's either Ted McMillan or this one.
All right. Well, for me, as a Bears fan, if he's the best tight end on the Bears, then I'm happy with that. If he's the best Bear at tight end for the next 5 to 10 years, I'm fine with that as well. I think it'll be all out in the wash exactly there. Loveland will be amongst the best in that draft. Usually we wait for a year, and I can wait a third year to find out where he's going to be in that draft.
The Horned Frogs
I can usually wait for years, and for me, I'm just happy about what I see right now from Loveland. I mean, we talk about the Bears getting off to quite a start, and they're ahead of schedule. Loveland definitely is ahead of schedule in this offense.
Fair? Absolutely fair.
Yeah, 100%. And look,
I didn't drop that, man. Bullshit.
Loveland next season is going to be tight end 2 in fantasy. Like, we're not sitting here talking
Trey McBride.
Yeah, we're not going to sit here and talk about, like, is Colston Loveland the best player from the first round of that draft? We're going to ask if Colston Loveland's the best tight end. And he might. It's the same conversation that went around with Sam Laporte and College. You're getting that with Colston Loveland, except even more so because of the playoff.
Caleb found a weapon and he kept going through over and over again in Loveland until the Packers could stop it. Guess what? The Packers couldn't stop it. It was masterclass of saying, here's a weapon that you can't slow down or stop. You can't get enough protection around him to be able to make sure he doesn't get the football. So I'm just glad that he was targeted 15 times and paid dividends greatly for the Bears offensively. I'm very happy with that. I know that sometimes there's a tunnel vision thing with Caleb. It's like, I got to get it to Loveland. I got to get it to DJ Moore over and over again. I got to get it to Robert Greenfield. Hey, man, whatever gets the ball down the field, I'm all cool. As long as it works, I'm fine.
Did you see the play design on the game-winning touchdown to DJ? Go look. Theo Benedict's in at left tackle because Ozzie got hurt. You see when he lined up to the left of the left tackle?
Just throw a catchable ball.
Darnell Wright. He's lined up to the left of the left tackle because it looks like the play design is a screen to Luther Burton, and they're going to put 58 Darnell Wright out in front to block for him. Caleb looks. There's Darnell Wright. Watch the safety come up. There goes DJ. See him? Hey, touchdown.
What?
The Chicago Transit Authority, hey, Chicago, if you're headed to a game like I did over the weekend, take the CTA. You're getting to the game and back for just $5. Less money spent on travel, more money for you to spend on food.
Oh, man. Fuck, you dropped that.
Traffic will do the driving for you. CTA has train stations and bus stops within steps of all the major stadiums and venues in the city. Plus, we've got tap to pay available on all CTA trains and buses. No need to purchase a ticket ahead of time. Just tap and ride. Plan your next trip at transitchicago.com/plan-a-trip. Save money, 2 more. Ride CTA.
No, Jay Moore, because they does a great job of promoting the CTA. There's no reason why they can't bring back the super transfer just to change. The Shade super transfer
will be jarred worse on second down. That brings up third down.
That was back in the day when you just had one payment. That's all. So the whole okay, super transfer. And you can go to RTA and RTA as well. All of them. If you have to, they just keep punching it. That way you can go wherever you want. But normally, it's called, I like it. Can I get the normally pass? Oh, the normally. We'll be on the air, 312-332-ESPN, 332-3776 is our telephone number as we celebrate the Chicago Bears and the Bears Victory Monday. Bears beat the Packers.
The Public Bank of Chicago's business banking solutions for you and your business. Team is ready to get you back in the game and moving in the right direction. Experience banking beyond expectations. Only at the Public Bank of Chicago. Member FDIC.
Good morning and welcome in to the Captain James Morning Show on ESPN 1000. And streaming on the ESPN Chicago app with David Kaplan and Jonathan Hood with you. We've got Eden and we've got Jamon. We've got you on this Dr. Pepper Bears Friday. One-of-a-kind fans, one legendary prize, 4 Bears tickets to Dr. Pepper, both original and made for a game day. Enter now at drpepperticketsweek.com/Bears. It's a Pepper thing. We're going to have the picks coming up at 8:18. The first time no shot. Here's Eden.
Good morning, boys. How long? 35 hours away from kickoff on the lake.
We're locked in. Hoodie's locked in. We're going to go to LaPorte. We'll have some fun. And then it's all Bears, baby. Let me tell you, my friend, you know who I'm talking about. Scotty, Jerry's Bar and Oshkosh, just texted me 3 seconds ago. Big game, my friend. Side bet. I'll cover your bar tab. We can put cash on it. Jerry's swap for a day at Jerry's. Any other idea? Yeah. You have got to serve all your customers wearing Bears gear and a Key Greater hat, a jersey and a Key Greater hat. And every single customer, when they pay for a drink, you have to say Bear down.
Oh, they own it.
I'll wear a Jordan Love jersey, and I will buy, we'll call it the first $200 of drinks in the bar. For anyone that comes in, I'll say, go back. When it's a tax season, we'll be able to let it. That's how business works back. I'm going to tell you as a young guy, not me, I'm going to tell you, you don't necessarily have to fall into the old man system. You see, as a young man, you can watch college football at 7, knowing that you have to be going for the next day, and it's okay. You know what? It's sports. Guess what? Did you think that you were going to get a 5 o'clock or a 3:25 game with this in Miami? You were not.
No way, man. What the fuck?
You know you got to put in a prime time spot, right? So even East, and I said, you came from Michigan. The reason why this was miserable is because you had to watch games at 8 o'clock and it didn't end until 11. That's a miserable way to live. Captains, you won't know. Us being in the Midwest, we're used to the 10 o'clock noon, right? Your game's at 7, the game ends at 10. Good night, Vindy. Take that, right? The East Coast, we were doing a game at 8 o'clock. I covered Final Fours that started at 9:15 Eastern. The Tampa game. 9:15 Eastern. How miserable that is when the game. I was confused because I was tired, right? That's all wrong. This is what it's so living. But you can also be watching in this game. And this movie going to run. Who's telling you this? Are you doing mine? You and I? And then good night, maybe take that. Watch the first thing you're probably disappointed in on offense is your lack of success running the football. And they've tried to give this guy the ball a few times in this game. Here we are in the fourth quarter. Still the first couple scores. And then now let's go to 11. Gerald Scott. It's Gerald Scott. Yeah, we go cracking the big storm, blah, 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 more late. Okay, good night.
We talked to him this week.
11 o'clock. Wait for my team to play 8 o'clock. Oh my God. Don't complain about games. You're young enough to stay up. So it's fine. Fair? That's all. Don't be on the air with like Russo takes 60-something years old. It's 2-9, it's unbelievable how long the game is. 11 o'clock, the kid's got to be in school. No.
And the incomplete pass will bring up fourth down.
1-3.
Last was great for this young man. Again, showing what he can do. Just working the whole field.
Don't do the Norwich thing.
He is
Just be a young
absolutely
man
on
and
fire
tell us.
right now.
Because you can stand
And the
with you got
kicker
to stand.
delivers the three ball to
There.
finish off the drive.
All right.
Just
No
over
shot
a
you
minute
do.
to go.
Oh, man.
Drama
What
is
is
high,
that?
guys,
West
to
Coast
see if they
baseball.
can
Yes,
hold on to
yes,
this lead.
yes, sir.
From inside the 10, here he comes. He was hoping for
Imagine
something
being
a
an
little
East
more
Coaster though, watching
dynamic,
your
but they
team on the
get
West
on the
Coast.
ground at
Oh,
the
the
20.
10:05 game, how about the
TCU will
10
send its
40? We
offense
get
back
9:40
onto the
when
field.
you're in San Diego.
These are the games, these are the moments, this is the opportunity for the finish that people
All right,
remember
let's take a
in
look at the last
rivalries
four
like this.
Bears-Packers matchups. They've all essentially come down to the final play. You got Kyler's block kick last year, then one up the Lambeau, Gaines interception, and the walk-off to DJ. John Milsham, if this game comes down to one, you trust Carlos Santos and your special teams unit to win the game.
Absolute Scott.
They've got to move quickly here.
Absolute
Still a chance, but
Scott, I
they've got to
trust.
force the ball down
That
the
means he's
field.
going to make every kick. It does not. You just saw Tyler Root, the kid who was 29 of 32 for
Wants to
Baltimore.
go up top.
Yeah, he was the
The sweep
judge
feed
jury
to
next
God dog it, man.
Yeah.
Nowhere close
He
on
missed.
that one as he got
Saw Chris Bowles, one of the best to
fucking
ever
around.
do.
Now they face third
He was
down.
the expert.
Remember, all they have to do is get it close
So,
enough for a
it
field
does not
goal here.
guarantee anything, but I absolutely trust.
On third and long,
for
he
me,
has to throw
personally,
for it.
Damn it!
Talk about Santos as far as
Another
replacing
incompletion on
this season.
third
Now, next
down.
season, you want to address it, that's fine.
And this
I
offense
know
has been a
that we
struggle
talk
bus.
about
I mean, just
how
call it
hard
like
you
it is,
kick.
guys. It hasn't
I
been
did
good,
criticize him for
especially
telling
the
the
passing
sideline
game.
crew. I think it
And
was
I'll tell you
80
what,
people
QB's
wallow
played better
about,
games before.
hey,
And
I
I'm
can only
interested
go
in
this
what
far. What was this happening? I can only kick 45 in these positions. That's just 42. Don't give the sideline reporter that information. What you can't do. Not what you can do. I didn't like that. But I wasn't trying to throw him off the team, though. Yeah, it's not necessarily been a big issue for me this year. It's not. But don't tell people, like, they only get about 47 away on these positions. What? Yeah, they're not going to let the Packers know. He will warm up, and then he tells Richard Hightower, good